you are doing something right now that no other animal on the planet fully understands. You are listening to organized sound and feeling something because of it. It's not just reacting to it the way a dog reacts to a thunderstorm or the way a bird responds to a rival's call. You are experiencing it in a different way. The sound is moving through you. It is changing what you feel, what you remember, and most importantly, what you want to do next. A sequence of vibrations in the air is somehow reaching into your chest and rearranging something there. This is one of the strangest things about being human, and we have been doing it for a very long time. The oldest known musical instruments are bone flutes. These flutes are made from vulture and mammoth bones found in caves in southern Germany. They are approximately 40,000 years old. This means that at some point in the deep past, a human being decided to spend time and effort crafting an object whose only purpose was to produce organized sound. Not food, not shelter, not a weapon, just the sound. And they did it in the middle of the Ice Age. The question that has haunted researchers for over a century is not whether music is ancient. The question is, why? Why did music evolve? What purpose did it serve that was important enough to survive, replicate, and embed itself into every human culture on Earth? The easy answer is that music is pleasurable. But that is not an explanation. It is just a restatement of the observation. Why is it pleasurable? What is the brain doing when it processes music? And why does that processing feel like anything at all? Start with what music does to the body. Music changes your heart rate, it changes your breathing, it changes your cortisol levels, your immune function, your pain perception. It alters the release of dopamine in ways that are structurally similar to what happens when you eat, when you have sex, when you take certain drugs. Neuroscientist Robert Zatora at McGill University has spent decades studying musical reward and found that the chills you sometimes get from a particularly powerful piece of music, what researchers call frisson, have a genuine dopamine release in the nucleus accumbens, the brain's core reward center. This is not a metaphor. The brain is treating music as a reward. Something about organized sound is triggering the same ancient circuitry that evolved to respond to food, sex, and social bonding. The question is, why? Why does that circuitry exist at all for something that has no direct survival value? One answer comes from evolutionary biology. Charles Darwin himself noted the puzzle of music. He could not fit it neatly into natural selection because music does not obviously help you eat, survive, or reproduce. His tentative suggestion was that music might have evolved through sexual selection, and that musical ability was an indicator of fitness, the way a peacock's tail is, and that musically gifted individuals were more attractive as mates. Some researchers still take this view seriously, but a more compelling explanation has emerged from the study of social cognition. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar has proposed that music evolved as a form of social bonding technology. His argument goes like this: primates bond their social groups through grooming. Grooming releases endorphins, the brain's natural opioids, and creates a sense of social attachment and trust. But grooming is slow. It can only happen between two individuals at a time. And as human social groups grew larger and more complex, grooming became an insufficient tool for bonding the whole group together. Music, Dunbar argues, is grooming at scale. Singing together, drumming together, moving together to a shared rhythm. These activities trigger the same endorphin release as physical grooming, but they can do it for an entire group simultaneously. 100 people singing together are all releasing endorphins at the same time, binding themselves to each other, have creating a sense of shared experience and collective identity that physical touch could never achieve at that scale. This theory explains something that is otherwise puzzling, like why music is almost always better in groups, why concerts feel different from headphones, why singing in a choir produces a sense of belonging that solo practice does not, why people drum together, why they dance together, why they chant together across every culture that has ever existed. The social function is not incidental to music. It may be the original function, but music does something else that grooming cannot. Music moves through time. It has rhythm, which is a pattern in time, and the ability to synchronize to an external rhythm, to feel a beat and move your body to match it, to anticipate where the rhythm is going and align with it. According to neuroscientist Anirudh Patel, vanishingly rare in the animal kingdom. Most animals cannot do it. Chimpanzees cannot reliably entrain to a beat. Dogs cannot. Cats cannot. The animals that can, parrots, cockatoos, elephants, certain sea lions, are all, without exception, animals that learn their vocalizations by listening and imitating, rather than having them genetically hardwired. Patel calls this the vocal learning hypothesis. The ability to synchronize to rhythm is a byproduct of the neural machinery required for vocal learning. And humans are the most sophisticated vocal learners on Earth. This means that rhythmic synchrony, I mean, moving together to a beat, is not a trivial party trick. It is a deep feature of human neurology. It is tied to the same systems that allow us to learn language, to imitate speech, to communicate with extraordinary precision. Rhythm is not decoration, it is infrastructure. And when humans synchronize rhythmically, something measurable happens. Studies by psychologist Scott Wiltermuth at Stanford showed that people who engaged in synchronous movement, walking in step, tapping in unison, even just nodding along to the same beat, became measurably more cooperative, more trusting, more willing to act in each other's interests. The synchrony itself, the mere fact of moving together, changed the social relationship. Here's what this means for you. Every time you have felt moved by a piece of music, every time a song has shifted your mood or pulled a memory back into vivid presence, every time you have felt the strange collective electricity of a room full of people responding to the same sound at the same time, you were not having an aesthetic experience in the way the word is usually used. You were running an ancient social program. Your brain was doing something it has been doing for tens of thousands of years, something it evolved to do, binding you to other people, regulating your emotional state, aligning your nervous system with the people around you. Music is not a luxury. It is not entertainment in the shallow sense of the word. It is one of the oldest technologies your species ever developed, and it was built for connection. There is one more piece of this that changes everything. Music can reach people when almost nothing else can. Patients with severe Alzheimer's disease who no longer recognize family members, who cannot recall their own names, who have lost access to nearly all explicit memory, will often respond to music from their past. They will sing along, they will remember lyrics, they will have emotional reactions to melodies. The music reaches places that language no longer can. Neurologist Oliver Sacks, who spent decades studying the relationship between music and the brain, described music as the most powerful non-pharmacological tool for accessing the human mind. It moves through channels that remain open long after other channels close, because music is not stored in one place in the brain. It is distributed, encoded in motor systems, emotional systems, autobiographical memory systems, social systems. It is woven into the brain rather than filed away in it. This is why a song from 15 years ago can return you instantly to a specific afternoon, a specific feeling, a specific version of yourself. The music and the moment were encoded together. When one is activated, the other follows. You are not someone who happens to like music. Music is part of what makes you human. It is encoded in your biology, embedded in your neurology, woven into the social fabric of every human group that has ever existed. The flute player in the Ice Age cave 40,000 years ago was doing what you do, producing organized sound to feel something, to share something, to bind themselves to the people beside them in the dark. Nothing about that has changed. So this is the full explanation. If you like this video, then please like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.